He laughed for the first time at 16. The sound echoed through the room, breaking a silence that felt like a lifetime. It was a moment that changed everything. What triggered it? You won't believe the journey that led to that one joyful sound. Before we dive into this incredible story, please subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything to us and is the only way to ensure stories like these, stories of beautiful transformations and profound connections, reach more people. It helps us continue our work, so please take a moment to subscribe now. In a small town tucked away from the bustling city life, there lived a boy named Liam. He was like any other teenager, but with a shadow that seemed to follow him everywhere. His world was painted in muted colors, where laughter was a foreign language. Liam's days blended into nights, filled with whispers of doubt and isolation, the kind that can wrap around a heart and constrict it tighter each day. His room was a sanctuary, adorned with posters of heroes who smiled back at him, yet he could never quite join them in that joy. Outside, the laughter of his peers rang like a distant melody, a reminder of a happiness that felt just out of reach. The walls often closed in around him, a fortress of solitude, but he held on to a flicker of hope that one day, he would find his own voice. The town was alive with the sounds of life, the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, and the laughter of children playing. But for Liam, it was as if all that energy bounced off an invisible barrier, never reaching him. That barrier was not just the weight of his struggles. It was a fear that had woven itself into the very fabric of his being. It kept him silent, kept him from connecting, from feeling the warmth of friendship or the joy of shared moments. Little did he know, a spark was about to ignite. A simple act of kindness, a chance encounter, would set into motion a series of events that would shatter his silence. As the sun set one evening, bathing the town in golden light, Liam stood at the edge of the park, watching the world dance around him. He was on the cusp of a revelation, one that would finally allow him to join in the laughter he had longed for. As days turned into weeks, the seasons shifted, and Liam continued to watch life unfold from the sidelines. While others found solace in friendships and laughter, he remained an outsider, a silent observer of a world that seemed to thrive on joy. His classmates would gather at the local diner, their laughter spilling into the streets like music, while Liam sat alone in the corner booth, nursing a soda that had long lost its fizz. "Hey Liam, why don't you join us?" a voice would call out, filled with genuine curiosity. "Yeah, come on. We're just hanging out," another would chime in, their smiles bright and inviting. Liam would offer a weak smile in return, his heart racing at the thought of stepping into their circle, but the fear that had become his constant companion held him back. Instead, he would shake his head, mumbling a soft, "Maybe next time," as he turned back to his phone, scrolling through images of laughter that felt like a distant dream. Meanwhile, the adults in the town noticed Liam's isolation. Mr. Thompson, the kind-hearted shopkeeper, would often leave a small treat at the counter for him, hoping to tempt him into a conversation. "You know, Liam, you're always welcome here," he'd say, his eyes warm with concern. But Liam would just nod, grateful yet hesitant, the weight of his silence pressing down on him like a heavy cloak. In school, whispers of Liam's solitude had turned into a quiet concern among the teachers. "We need to reach out to him," Mrs. Jenkins, his English teacher, would insist during staff meetings. "He has so much potential, but he's trapped in his own world." They tried, offering him opportunities to join clubs and activities, but Liam remained steadfast in his retreat, feeling like a ghost drifting through the hallways. One chilly afternoon, as Liam sat alone in the library, he overheard a group of students nearby, animatedly discussing an upcoming school talent show. Laughter erupted as one of the girls, Sarah, dramatically impersonated a teacher, her expressions exaggerated and infectious. And then she said, "If you don't turn in your homework, you can kiss your grades goodbye." The group erupted into fits of laughter, and for a brief moment, Liam felt a pang of something he hadn't felt in ages, a flicker of longing. But the flicker was quickly extinguished as he reminded himself of the barrier that separated him from them. "They'll never understand," he thought bitterly. Just then, a boy from his class, Jake, caught his eye. "Hey Liam, you should totally perform. I bet you'd crush it." Jake's voice was filled with enthusiasm, but Liam only offered a strained smile, shaking his head again. As the days rolled on, the town prepared for the annual festival, a time of joy and celebration. Lights twinkled in the town square, and the air buzzed with excitement as vendors set up their stalls. Children ran about, their laughter echoing against the backdrop of cheerful music. Liam watched from a distance, his heart heavy with a blend of envy and sadness. Why can't I feel that? He wondered, his mind swirling with questions. Then one night as Liam lay in bed, he heard the distant sounds of laughter and music wafting through his window. It was like a siren call, pulling at the threads of his heart. He tossed and turned, the restlessness of his spirit battling against the comfort of his solitude. Just as he was about to drift off, his phone buzzed with a message from Lucas, the new volunteer at the hospital. Hey Liam. What are you doing right now? Want to meet up? I found this hilarious video of a dancing penguin. Liam's heart raced. He hesitated, contemplating the safety of staying in his cocoon versus the thrill of stepping outside of it. Before he could think too long, he typed back. Sure, I'll be there. It was a small step, but it felt monumental. When Liam arrived at the hospital, he found Lucas waiting for him, a wide grin plastered on his face. You won't believe this. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen, Lucas said, pulling out his phone. As he played the video, the absurdity of the dancing penguin filled the room with a lightness that Liam hadn't felt in ages. I can't believe how silly this is. Lucas laughed, nudging Liam playfully. For the first time, Liam felt a spark of warmth in his chest. Yeah, it's funny, he replied, a hesitant smile creeping onto his face. Come on, you can't tell me you're not even a little amused. Lucas persisted, his eyes twinkling with mischief. I mean, it's just a penguin, Liam replied, trying to suppress a grin, but the corners of his mouth betrayed him. As Lucas continued to pull out more ridiculous videos and tell absurd jokes, Liam found himself laughing, softly at first, then louder, until it echoed off the sterile walls of the hospital room. The sound was foreign to him, a melody he had long forgotten, and it felt like a dam had burst within him. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. In that moment, the laughter wasn't just a sound, it was a declaration of freedom. It was a promise to himself that he could break through the barriers that had held him captive for so long. As tears of joy streamed down his face, he realized that he was no longer alone. Lucas's laughter intertwined with his, and for the first time, Liam felt the warmth of connection, a spark of hope igniting in the depths of his heart. But what would happen next? Would this newfound joy last? And could laughter truly change everything? The answers lay ahead in a journey that would challenge everything Liam thought he knew about himself and the world around him. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of a beautiful, transformative adventure. Liam's laughter echoed through the hospital room, a sound that had been long buried in the depths of his heart. It was a moment imbued with the kind of joy that felt almost surreal. Lucas, beaming with pride, clapped him on the back. See? I knew you had it in you. But while the laughter brought them closer, it also began to unravel hidden truths that neither of them anticipated. As the days passed, Liam found himself spending more time with Lucas. They ventured outside the hospital, exploring the town together, sharing stories and laughter that seemed to bridge the chasm of isolation that had defined Liam's life for so long. Yet, beneath the surface of their blossoming friendship, there lay a tension that neither boy could articulate. One afternoon, as they lounged in the park, surrounded by the vibrant buzz of life, Lucas turned serious. You know, Liam, he began, his voice tentative, I used to think that people with problems are just different. I thought I understood what you were going through. Liam tilted his head, intrigued. What do you mean? Lucas sighed, running a hand through his hair. Before I started volunteering, I had this image in my head. I thought people like you were just sad or broken, and that it was contagious. I was scared to get too close. Liam felt a flicker of hurt but remained silent, letting Lucas continue. But now I see it's not like that at all. You're just a normal kid who's been through a lot. I regret ever thinking that way. I guess we all have our assumptions, Liam replied, his voice barely above a whisper. I've avoided people because I thought they wouldn't understand. Just then a group of classmates strolled by, their laughter ringing out like a clear bell. Liam instinctively shrank back, the old walls of fear and doubt rising up within him. Lucas noticed and turned to him, a determined glint in his eyes. Let's go say hi. Liam's heart raced. No, I can't. They don't want me there. Why not? Lucas challenged. You're one of them. You just laughed, for crying out loud. You're allowed to be part of this. Caught in a whirlwind of emotions, Liam hesitated. With a deep breath, he nodded, and together they approached the group. As they drew closer, Liam could hear snippets of conversation. The jokes, the teasing, the easy camaraderie that felt so foreign to him. Hey, look who it is! Sarah exclaimed, her eyes lighting up as she spotted them. Liam, Lucas, come join us. The invitation was unexpected. but it sent a jolt of anxiety through Liam. He stood frozen, battling between the urge to retreat and a newfound desire to belong. Lucas nudged him forward and they joined the group. The initial awkwardness faded quickly as they engaged in light banter, and for a moment, laughter filled the air. But just as Liam began to feel comfortable, he overheard a comment that sent a chill through him. "I heard Liam never laughs. Like ever. He's like a total weirdo," one of the boys said, snickering. The laughter that followed felt like a knife to Liam's heart. In an instant, the warmth of connection evaporated, replaced by the cold sting of rejection that he had known for so long. He looked at Lucas, searching for understanding, but Lucas's face was a mask of confusion and hurt. "Did you hear that?" Lucas asked, his voice low. Liam nodded, feeling his heart plummet. "I thought we were just getting somewhere." "Forget them," Lucas said fiercely, anger spilling from him. "They don't know you. They don't know what you've been through." But Liam felt the weight of those words press down on him. The laughter he had just shared now felt tainted, and he began to retreat into himself. "Maybe they're right," he murmured, the old shadows creeping back in. "No, Liam." Lucas's voice was urgent. "This is the moment you need to push back against that. You've come so far. Don't let their ignorance take that away from you." In that moment, Liam was faced with a revelation that shook him to his core. The laughter he had yearned for was not just a sound. It was a symbol of acceptance and belonging. Yet, it was also a reminder of the prejudices that still lurked in the hearts of those around him. It dawned on him that he would have to confront not only his own fears but also the biases that others held against him. Liam took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of Lucas's unwavering support beside him. "You're right," he said, his voice steadier now. "I won't let them define who I am." With newfound determination, he turned back to the group, a defiant spark igniting within him. "You know what? I might not have laughed before, but I'm not the weirdo you think I am. I'm figuring things out just like everyone else. I deserve to be here just like you do." The laughter around him faltered, and for a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Liam didn't know what would happen next. He only knew that he was ready to break free from the chains of silence that had held him captive for so long. As he stood there, the sun casting its golden rays upon him, Liam realized that laughter was not just about joy. It was about connection, vulnerability, and the courage to face the world, even when it meant exposing his heart to judgment. Little did he know, this revelation would set the stage for an even deeper exploration of friendship, acceptance, and the transformative power of laughter. The journey ahead would challenge Liam to confront not only the laughter that had been denied to him but also the unspoken biases that still lingered in the shadows of his world. Would he be able to rise above the hurt and find his place among the laughter, or would the prejudices of others continue to hold him back? The answers lay just ahead, waiting to be uncovered. As Liam stood amidst the group, he felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through him. The laughter that had once felt foreign now resonated within him, a beautiful echo of connection and acceptance. With every heartbeat, he realized the power of his voice, the very voice he had stifled for so long. "Maybe you've never seen me laugh before," he continued, his voice steady and resolute. "But that doesn't mean I'm not worth getting to know. I'm not a weirdo. And I'm not broken. I just have my own journey and I'm learning to embrace it." The air was thick with anticipation, and for a moment, the laughter faded into a heavy silence. Sarah looked at him, her eyes wide with surprise. "I didn't mean it like that, Liam," she stammered, her tone shifting from mockery to concern. "I just thought." "Thought what?" Liam interrupted, his heart racing. "That I wouldn't care? That I wouldn't want to be included? I do want to be part of this. I want to share in the joy just like everyone else." Lucas stood beside him, pride swelling in his chest as he watched Liam confront the very fears that had held him captive for years. "You all need to realize that laughter is a part of healing," he added, glancing at the group. "Liam has been through a lot, and he deserves a chance just like anyone else." A ripple of understanding washed over the group as they began to process Liam's words. The snickers faded, replaced by a growing warmth that hinted at acceptance. "You're right. We're sorry, Liam," one of the girls finally said, her voice softening. "We didn't know." Liam felt a weight lift from his shoulders, as if the invisible chains that had bound him for so long were slowly breaking apart. The fear that had once consumed him began to dissipate, replaced by a flickering hope that maybe, just maybe, he could belong. As the conversation shifted, laughter began to return, this time with Liam at the center of it. They shared stories, jokes, and even some gentle teasing, weaving a bond that felt both fragile and profound. Liam found himself laughing freely, the sound spilling from his lips as if it had been waiting to escape all along. But the real twist came when Sarah pulled out her phone, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "Okay Liam, we need to know, what's your best joke?" Caught off guard, Liam hesitated, the spotlight suddenly shining bright on him. He had never been the one to take center stage, but in that moment he felt a flicker of bravery ignite. "Okay, here goes," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "Why don't scientists trust atoms?" The group leaned in, anticipation building. "Because they make up everything." Laughter erupted, filling the park with a warmth that felt contagious. Liam's heart swelled with joy, a deep-seated satisfaction washing over him. He had crossed a threshold, stepping into a world that felt vibrant and alive. But even amidst the joy, Liam understood that this was just a beginning. The journey ahead would not always be easy, and there would likely be bumps along the way. He would have to navigate the complexities of friendship, acceptance, and the lingering shadows of his past. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories like this one. As the weeks turned into months, Liam and Lucas's friendship blossomed into a powerful bond. They became inseparable, sharing moments of laughter that echoed through the halls of their school. Liam's laughter transformed from a rare occurrence into a regular part of his life, and with each chuckle, he felt the walls of isolation crumble further. But it was during a community event that the true impact of his transformation was revealed. The town had organized a talent show, and with Lucas's encouragement, Liam decided to participate. Standing backstage, his heart raced as he prepared to take the stage. The familiar doubts crept in, but he remembered the laughter, the acceptance, and the promise he had made to himself. When he stepped into the spotlight, the audience fell silent, their eyes fixed on him. For a moment, Liam felt the weight of expectations pressing down on him. But then he spotted Lucas in the crowd, giving him an encouraging thumbs up. A surge of confidence filled him, and he began to share his story, the struggles, the loneliness, and the joy that had finally found its way into his life. As he spoke, laughter erupted from the audience, not just at his jokes but at the raw honesty of his journey. Each chuckle fueled his spirit, igniting a fire within him that had long been extinguished. By the time he finished, the applause was deafening, a symphony of acceptance that resonated deep within his soul. Liam stepped off the stage, his heart racing, and as he looked around, he realized that he was no longer the silent observer. He had found his place among the laughter, a vibrant part of a community that embraced him for who he was. In the days that followed, the connections he had forged flourished, transforming Liam's world into a tapestry of friendship, laughter, and love. The boy who had once felt like an outsider now stood at the center of a circle filled with warmth and understanding. As he reflected on his journey, Liam understood that laughter was not merely a sound. It was a bridge that connected hearts, a powerful force capable of breaking down barriers and healing wounds that had long felt insurmountable. He had discovered that true joy came not from avoiding pain but from embracing it, from forging connections that transcended superficial judgments. With Lucas by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that he was never alone in his laughter again. And so, the boy who had laughed for the first time at 16 became a beacon of hope in his community, inspiring others to share their stories, to laugh, and to connect. The echoes of Liam's laughter reverberated through the town, a reminder that joy, once found, could illuminate even the darkest corners of the heart.